to you guys, thank you for coming on. And I know,
Thank you for having us.
I know Ross is a busy guy and he's got another podcast. Instagram, is it on your Instagram at 7 o'clock?
I don't think it's going to be on mine. The guy's name is Leo PX7 or something like that. 25.
It'll share on both.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it'll share. I don't know anything about social media. That's why I've got
Social media coordinator, I do.
So yeah, it's going to be a live podcast with a buddy of mine from Brazil. He's a sport karate guy, also into kickboxing. So we're just going to be. There's actually going to be a Portuguese translator translating everything back and forth, so that my fans from all around Brazil and Central America, South America, really anybody all around the world can interact with me, and we'll answer some questions, do some Q&A. So it'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Have you ever had to have an interpreter do an interview or anything like that for you? Because you fought all over.
Not with an interview, not like this, no. So this will definitely be a first, but I use interpreters all the time for physical therapy, because a lot of times patients will come in where English is their second language, and they have to bring an interpreter. So I'm not a stranger to talking through someone else to get the message across. But he actually did a podcast, this guy, with this other world-class athlete in England last week. So that went really well, and it was a really easy transition. So I'm sure it'll be no problem.
Excellent. Is that his main, is it just athletes he covers, or is it just kickboxing, kind of the kickboxing round?
It's just, it's mainly sport karate, and I think he's breaking more into kickboxing. So, anybody who's, once you guys are done with this, make sure you Instagram, tune into that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're here with you, my man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I understand you're a physical therapist, you're a full-time job. You're an essential employee, correct? I mean, you still have patients coming in and all that, right?
I do. The difference right now are some clinics are still open. Our clinic as a whole is not. So we're closed. So we're doing everything via telehealth, which is a company basically that allows us to pretty much do stuff like this. It's all video. So, I mean, we're still getting new patients. I'm still treating my other patients that have been on my schedule. And it's really interesting, man. It's the new normal. But it's basically like FaceTiming, and I'm working from home, so people are getting to know me and me and my natural habitat with my cats and Maddie and everything. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a new way of working because I can't be physical. It's definitely more of the therapy side. But it's cool because I'm learning how to be more creative. I'm definitely becoming a better listener. So all around, I think on the other side of this, I'm going to come out of this a better physical therapist, more creative, thinking out of the box a little more. So, it is what it is, but any way that I can still provide some service to the people is going to be helpful for all of us. So, yeah, I'm still working, still doing my thing, and Maddie's still working, so we're definitely blessed and fortunate to still have paychecks coming in.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are struggling right now, so as crazy as it is, I really can't complain. I'm still getting to do my job.
Excellent. And as far as you, Maddie, you're a busy, busy woman. Not only are you a writer, but you do the Backcountry in the morning. Is it Maddie in the morning?
Yeah, so I'm on a radio morning show. It's Brian and Maddie in the morning, Backcountry 98.1. So it's for the country music lovers. I will admit that I wasn't a country music fan when I started there, but it certainly has grown on me. And I mean, music is music. You got to appreciate talent when you see it. So it's really exciting. I recently started working a little bit with them on their live show called Studio 10, where I basically just go to restaurants and I get to review the restaurants. So a lot of eating happens, which makes weight cutting a little difficult. But I'm learning how to balance, fun time and work time, and it's been a blessing to work in radio and in television. It's going really well.
Well, that was my next question. Which one do you like better? Because one, you're behind the mic, and the other one, behind the camera and the mic. Which one do you enjoy better? I know you've been at the country longer. You were an intern there before you became in the rotation.
Right.
Describe the difference between them.
Yeah, so it's definitely different beasts. I mean, the radio is definitely my comfort zone. I've been doing it longer. And what I'm finding with television is you got to worry about what you're doing with your face and with your hands. Being Italian, I talk with my hands all the time, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I try not to show my emotions as much as I would on the radio. So it's definitely challenging. Television definitely gets my heart pumping a little more. My first go at live television was actually Line Night, I want to say 56, where I worked with CBS Sports, and that was so much fun. But oh my gosh, is it stressful. I mean, there's so much, going into it with the production-wise that people hopefully don't realize because they're doing their job well. But wow, that was an experience. So I hope that eventually down the road, my career just goes into television. It's definitely an exciting world.
Excellent. And that's something you aspired to do as far as, Ross, when he was in the fighting game. I know before you actually doing a lot of the just starting in, Ross was like, hey, if you need someone to, get in that cage or that ring or announce fighters or, do after-fight interviews, I mean, that's something that you will definitely be into and something that you'd be great at. I mean, as far as, the experience behind the camera and being the, kind of, you must be getting popular now as far as being on radio and TV. So, you're kind of...
Thank you, Steve, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I want to do in the future after all this nonsense. I'm in a unique situation where sometimes I want to be on the card and sometimes I want to broadcast the card. So it's an interesting balance that I deal with a lot. But moving forward, I do have to worry about black guys on television, black eyes on television and stuff. So, I think going further down the road, I see a lot more reporting in my future. Really bummed about the No Boundary card getting canceled in April. I was supposed to fight TK Mosher. She's a hell of a fighter, super great person, and we were going to put on a show. I know we were. So shout out to TK.
A City Todd Boston woman, right? City Todd Boston. That's right.
City Todd. So hopefully down the road, we'll meet again, but I wouldn't be surprised if I end up interviewing or something as well. So I work a very interesting lifestyle, and I love it. So going down the road, whether it's No Boundary, whether it's Cage Titans, whether it's Line Fight or whatever, I'm definitely trying to get into that realm of reporting. Excellent.
Well, as far as you, Ross, Matt, No Boundary, you had a fight scheduled. Your third fight for Glory, I do believe. Your third fight, you came away with 2 big wins. I think your debut, you had, was it a potential knockout of the year? Plus, it broke a record. I think it was the fastest debut knockout for a welterweight for them.
Yep. That knockout did win the knockout of the year. So thank you guys for voting. I appreciate all.
It's whatever.
People supporting me. It was great. So yeah, that was really cool. And I guess as a reward for that, they decided they were going to fly me out to for my next fight, which was scheduled for March 28th. Typically, Glory tends to reserve their American fighters to fight within the States. And as far as I know, I think I was the first American who flew overseas that was not ranked. They might have done that with Asa Tenpao when he fought in China, but he may have cracked the rankings at that point. So either way, it was really an honor for them to even consider me for that card. They had a really good matchup scheduled with me and Amari Diedrich, another dangerous welterweight from the UK. So I was looking forward to it, man. Really, really pumped and excited for this year. I was ready to get the ball rolling and get a couple of fights under my belt. But listen, everything changed, and we're adapting to the new normal now. So it is what it is. And the positive side is that we're staying in shape so that when the phone call comes, we'll be ready to roll, and I'll be ready to get on a plane and go wherever they need me to go, whether they're doing what Dana White's doing and they book a private island and I can fight. Now, listen, I'll fight anywhere, anyhow, as long as it's safe for me and my team to travel, we'll be there.
Excellent. And, Ross, leading up to, the fights as they were getting canceled and stuff like that, there, there's still a couple of cards, New England-wise, holding on, but the end, we knew, eventually it was getting out of hand with this virus stuff. You're in the fighting game, you're in Glory, but you're with training with a lot of MMA fighters that are really, busy, and they were on a bunch of sides here. What was the chatter going around as far as fighters as gyms started closing? Especially, I mean, you guys are from Pride Martial Arts. You have, I mean, that's your family. You have, nonstop classes there for kids, for, grown-ups, for the fight team.
Yeah.
When you saw this coming down, and especially, your card in jeopardy, I mean, it started off basically on the lower level, and then it started, like, trickling up, and then the big boys started canceling. What was going through your mind? Like, I mean, you have an essential job, and you're going to survive, but, 2019, you had so much success. In 2020, here we are, ready to go, and it all comes to a halt. What was going through your mind? Yeah, what was going through?
It's actually funny because the way that maybe it was perceived was the way you just described it. It was actually the other way around. Glory was one of the first ones to cancel, and to be quite honest with you, they've taken some of the most cautious measures throughout all of this. So when this started breaking, as soon as Belgium decided, the nation of Belgium decided they were going to cancel all events more than 50 people. At the time, their coronavirus counts weren't even that high, but starting to panic a little bit. Belgium gets a lot of travelers in and out of Italy, so when that all started happening, they shut down, and Glory was trying to figure out, can we run the event without spectators and just make it work? And we were on board until, really, I think the day it changed is the day that Trump announced the travel ban for anyone going to and from Europe. So once that happened, I think a lot of the bigger organizations said, no, we're not doing it. So Glory shut down that event, but they also shut down the event in May. So there was an event in Miami, May 20th. They went ahead and canceled that outright. So the next show for Glory is not scheduled until June 20th, and that's going to be a mega show, man. That's a huge event out in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. It's headlined by Badr Hari, so it's going to be crazy, man. I'm really hoping that they throw me on that event, and that'll be pretty sweet. So we'll see. But as far as what we were doing, we were holding on, and my goals never changed. I had a goal to make weight at a certain date, and we kept pushing along. So we trained for as long as we could until we had to shut down Pride, and then once Pride shut down, that was the end of that, and then we about the cancellation, and in the meantime I'm still staying in shape, and we're training, we're hitting pads in the driveway, whatever we can do, going for runs, and we're setting up some shop in our basement just to get some work in, and we're moving along. The goal as a martial artist, and one of the mottos I've always followed, was it's better to stay ready than to get ready. If I'm ready, I don't first have to get ready. So I'll be right where I need to be, so when the phone rings, we'll be ready to roll.
Excellent. Well, Matty, as far as you, I mean, you get to leave the house and as far as go to work and stuff like that. Is it a breath of fresh air, even though it's dangerous out there, and you're not, I would imagine in the studio you're not around too many people, and you're around the same ones every day, or how your schedule goes.
So I feel like we're still essential. One, because it's really just me and my co-host, so it's really just two people in a studio. And then on the other hand, we're getting a lot of feedback from listeners that it's kind of a breath of fresh air for them during the day. It gets their mind off things. Their lighthearted part of the day.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours of escape for people where they can just immerse themselves in our show and listen to music. And we're getting a lot of positive feedback. So thank goodness for listeners of Cat Country who are keeping me employed. So thank you.
Excellent. And I'm sure you're gaining a lot more fans, a lot more listeners, because people are home. I mean, they get turned on and they just might switch on to you, and you have a bubbly personality why you're getting these opportunities, and you're a smart girl, so they're going to listen to you, and I mean, you're bringing a lot of people along. To get to the Pride, because my next question for you, Matty, was, Ross talked about the family and, the gym and stuff like that. You have a women's kind of gang there, or a crew, that you guys all need each other and, have that camp that you go to have that camaraderie. How you keeping that together between the women? Because you have a lot of women in that camp that are active fighters, with April and a few more in there. How are you keeping that camaraderie? And how you at a gym keeping everyone connected?
So what Pride is doing right now is something really special. Sensei Andrew Cornell has actually been doing live stream workouts that he posts to the student page. He might be putting it live out to others, but in the meantime, he's just keeping it for his students, keeping it them, engaged and all that. But as far as my, girl squad, we are constantly talking to each other, FaceTiming. I just FaceTimed Lauren and April a few nights ago, and the coolest part is when I walked into Pride, I had no idea about martial arts. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to punch stuff and, get rid of some anger. And then a couple of years down the road, I'm becoming a martial artist, and I'm surrounded by these amazing, strong, confident women who are my friends and my sisters now. I mean, 2 of my teammates are going to be bridesmaids in our wedding. So it's really cool to have friends like that understand the process, that understand the discipline that goes behind it. And we're all sad right now. I mean, artists are very sad right now. So, I just, as a person, I just try to be there for my team. I try to be there for my friends, and we're all struggling right now. And I think what I've been telling my friends, and what I've been telling, younger students at the school, cut yourself some slack. It's okay to have some carbs right now, and watch some cartoons or whatever. But stay disciplined in the sense of still being a martial artist, still train in your backyard, do the live streams. It's been challenging, but I think we're going to come out of it more disciplined as fighters.
Yeah, and we talked about that interviewing fighters and coaches. They talk about how people are going to get out of this, come out as stronger. People are picking up new hobbies, learning new things. Is there anything that you, Ross, or you are kind of learning that you think you wouldn't have done if you didn't have this time?
I mean, just going back to being a better martial artist, I'm finding that I'm putting a lot more emphasis on the basics. So shadow boxing a whole lot more. I mean, I think a lot of fighters tend to, I don't like to generalize, but I think a lot of fighters kind of skip over the shadow boxing part of the warm-up and just go straight into sparring, or people forget that shadow boxing makes everything so much easier.
Or maybe just the shadow boxing isn't as focused, right? Like a lot of times we'll shadow box as part of our warm-up, but shadow boxing should be something that is mimicking your fighting. So if you're taking your shadow boxing in your practice rounds now and saying, all right, I'm going to work on my head movement, or I'm going to work on my leg checks, I mean, you're getting those repetitions in, and it's so important to get those mental reps during shadow boxing, because if you're not doing it there, then those habits aren't going to come out when you're actually sparring or fighting. So, that's a piece of it too. We're really fortunate that we have each other to hold pads, but like Maddie said, we're going back to the basics. Like we were doing, we had a sunny day, so we went in front of our house yesterday, and we were hitting pads, and I was making an effort to do, all right, I'm going to have very basic combinations. I'm going to do orthodox, we're doing southpaw. So now I'm working both sides. So when we come out of this, I'm going to be dangerous on both sides. It's all about one of Coach Cornell's favorite mottos: nothing can grow in the comfort zone. So I think we all have to figure out that we are now out of our comfort zone, and this is the chance where we can really focus our energy and build something new and come out of this a little bit better than we were before. But we do have some other hobbies.
Speaking of hobbies, Steve.
What do you got? Coloring book? What do you got?
Coloring. It's been wonderful. This is Ross's good work. Check it out.
Wait a minute. Do you color out of the same book, or you each have your own?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing, Steve. I bought it for myself because I needed something to pass the time. And I come down one day, and who's coloring in my book?
What she doesn't realize is she said that she would marry me, and she doesn't understand what's yours is mine.
Yeah,
what's mine
exactly.
Is yours. So she bought this coloring book, and now it's mine.
So, we're martial artists, and we're artists.
Excellent. Well, I'm learning to knit on my own. I knit a sock the other day. I'm trying to get the other one, but no, I'm only kidding. But so, being martial artists, you talked a little bit about how you're, being able to hit pads together and stuff like that. I mean, you have it a little easier than a couple of other couples that I've talked to, because they're MMA fighters. They're doing jiu-jitsu. They have all them different things to go through. Not that, you guys, I know April, she's more Muay Thai than anything, but she has some grappling experience too. So do you also do a little grappling on the side also?
All of the girls now have been doing some jiu-jitsu. So
okay.
Maybe Cage Titans or Combat Zone is going to be getting some new talent.
Excellent. Excellent.
We started jiu-jitsu, but
there's time.
Definitely not grappling yet.
There's time. Well, you know what, Maddie? Your hands are dangerous, so I mean, you can set that up, and you know what I mean. You know, you soften them up on the feet, and it'll be easy to commit them. But to get back at that, we'll get to Cage Titans because you had some fighters. I do believe that are going to be on that the Muay Thai, Small Gloves Muay Thai. So
no, we had a couple that were scheduled for possibly Cage Titans, and then also
No Boundary.
No Boundary,
yeah.
And then there was lace-up cards and Syracuse. It was
going to be a busy season.
Yeah. Like 3 or 4 weekends back to back between myself and then Lace Up, and then we had 1 week off, and then Syracuse for that, and then another one for No Boundary. So it was a lot, and we all got canceled out. But it is what it is.
Well, all right. So before I ask you about like the little training, and then I'll let you get out of here because I know I have that other on. But did I forget my question? It was a good one. It was so good. It was so good. Well, first we're gonna ask about your training together because I was getting on that and I drifted off with the jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. You guys have it a little easier. You can hit pads together. It's more stand-up work. You talked about going outside and stuff like that and sharpening up your game because you have to go through the technique because you're kind of by yourself. What are you working on? How you can tell someone out there because Ross, you're a pro, and Amy and Maddie, you're an Amy, so it's kind of two different worlds here. What advice and how can you tell other people how you're training and what you're working on to sharpen up that skills?
I think we're doing, Ross and I really like to do pad work. And when you work with somebody that holds pads a lot, I hold for him all the time. You build the chemistry. We've kind of gotten to the point where we don't really need to call out everything we're going to hold. We just kind of hold it. So I think the biggest focus for any martial artist right now is to focus on fine-tuning everything. Like if you have a problem bending your legs with your cross punch, focus on bending your legs. So we've been doing a lot of very pinpointed drills that help us with the weak parts of our game. I mean, I don't really know if he has a weak part, but he knows me with stuff. So if anybody, is looking for workouts, I mean, we love doing pads and shadow boxing and,
I just watched a video on YouTube on how to make like a do-it-yourself slip bag. So one of the maze bags that you swing and do your footwork. So I just made one of those. I got to screw it into one of the 2x4s in the basement so I can start working my head movement. But yeah, I think I'm fortunate where I've been around a lot of really cool people in the sport, and a lot of people are posting videos that you can do like quarantine workouts. For example, I go up. Probably now it's been a lot more recently, but Joseph Baltellini, so former Glory World Champion in the same weight class as me, he fought all the best in the world. So he is up in Toronto. They're in quarantine as well, but he has a YouTube channel. So if you look at Bazooka Kickboxing on YouTube, subscribe to his channel. He's got all sorts of different videos that you can do, and you don't need partners to do them. So even just simple things like one of the last couple of videos was working on full extension your punches, or like shoulder conditioning, or calf conditioning, little things like that. Even though I think the big problem is guys that are professionals and amateurs right now, they're freaking out because we're out of our typical routine where it's like, oh, I can't use the gym, or I don't have my coach holding pads, like, oh, what am I going to do? I can't do anything. Well, that's not really true. You just got to be accepting of taking a big step back, a bigger step back than we're used to, but kind of like I like to use the Men in Black reference. Like, you need to just do the memory blast. Just act like you don't know anything about a topic. Like, take your jab. Be like, I don't know anything about my jab. Turn your camera on, record yourself throwing your jab, and nitpick it like you were teaching your students. And that's how we become better martial artists. We're doing a lot of self-recording and just watching. We're watching old fights. We're watching new fights, or other people and just studying, you know, just being a student of the game. I think that's what's really important. So my message to all the fighters out there is just become a student. You know, just be a good martial artist overall. Don't be a fighter. Be a martial artist. And try and make improvements wherever you can, even if it's on the smallest little level. You know, 1% better every day is still better.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This is a huge mental test for a lot of martial artists right now. Just trying to stay focused. I mean, personally, moments like this, I didn't realize how much I work off of my teammates and how their energy helps me get through a workout or get through a sparring session. So it's been a lot of mental toughness. But like I said, I think working through all this mental toughness and trying to stay disciplined when we can get back on the mats, oh my God, I think we're going to have some explosive fighters coming out of the gate this year. So once the world gets back to normal, I think the New England fighting game is going to be crazy. Because you know so many fighters, we know so many fighters that are so passionate. And it's going to be like a dog off the leash.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
The first couple cards that open up, you're going to see which fighters were actually in shape.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
And which ones are like, oh, no, I can't make it to this one
Yeah.
because they're like 20 pounds over.
Yeah, or they're
We're
fighting.
going to find out who's really been taking care of themselves and working on their improvements. So we're going to find out.
He's
the hard
calling
way.
them out.
He's got this.
Ross is calling them out right now. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
last thing, Maddie, I'm going to let you go first. Social media, how we get in touch with you, and throw it all out there. Say your thank yous, and then we'll throw it to your partner there.
Yeah, find me at Maddie on Air, 2 Ds, MADDIE on Air, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And just a huge shout out to the martial arts community. Just realizing like how tightly knit we all are, and how we're all in this together, and we're gonna come out of it stronger. And I miss my. I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you. But yeah, Maddie on Air. Let's be friends.
Awesome.
Yep. And most of you guys are already following me, but I've got a Facebook page. I have my regular page, Ross Levine, and the athlete page, Ross Turbo Levine. Instagram at Ross_Turbo_Levine. Follow me there. Guys, send me messages, Facebook messages. I don't care. Talk to me about training. I'm trying to unite everybody. We've got some really good things going on through the Northeast, where we've been really mixing a lot of the gyms and getting some high quality training. So once this is all said and done, we can get right back to it and not skip a beat. I'm really proud of everybody, and I can't wait to see everybody soon. Follow Glory Kickboxing and watch me rise up them rankings.